What is up, YouTubers? This is your boy Cartoon, and I'm here today to bring another Bleach Brave Souls video. I'm going to be doing the 6-star 100% character analysis on none other than Toshiro Hitsugaya, Captain of Squad 10 and the coldest of hearts. Yeah, literally, because he's a heart character. Whatever, you get it. So, without further ado, guys, let's get into this bad boy. Well, alright. So, looking at his stats, they look pretty decent. He has a 786 stamina, just 14 points shy of 800, and that's pretty good for PvP. You'll have good magnification on there with all your stamina accessories if you have any. Attack, 535. This is actually an okay attack for a strong attack damage user and a character that is said to have frenzy. So, you know, I'll take it. Defense 290. This is actually above average. This is very close to 300, 10 points shy of it, and it is still considered a very high defense. Really good for PvP there. Focus 263. So you will see often crits. I mean, it's not on the higher side. It's not, you know, it's above average, but it's not on the highest of sides. So I will just say that, you know, have good crit magnification. Maybe, I don't know, we'll find out. And SP 626. This is the upper echelon of SP users, and once again he is a strong attack damage link to boot, so that is a plus. Not to mention he has a killer or Rankar, so he's actually going to be doing buffed damage throughout levels systematically, where, you know, because mobs can be Rankars, but they can't be like Espadas. So let's get into the soul tree. Alright. So, looking at his soul tree, you'll notice that he has 7 attainable upgrades. They do unfortunately block his path, so you're going to have to work hard and grind hard. So let's go over these. First, Sprinter. This increases the number of flash steps. This is pretty standard on most characters. Next, Devastation. This is the increases special move damage, magnification, except it just doesn't do what Bombardment does, which is essentially double your damage. So it's going to be somewhere around like 40% or something. It's always like that. Next, Bruiser. This increases his normal attack damage. That's always a plus because SP users always are lackluster with their NAD. Next, Blast Zone. This increases his special move area effect. So 2 augmentations to special. Not very happy about it. I mean, just make his special bigger. We don't need the Blast Zone. Thanks a lot, Caleb. Next, Frenzy. Increases strong attack hits. There we go. That's what it is. Just gonna make everything that he does strong attack wise awesome. Next, Long Reach. This increases the normal attack area of effect. Very sorry. This is actually really good because, like I said, he is an SP user, so having a good NAD string to correlate with his strong attacks is always a plus. And lastly, Debilitator. This increases the duration of inflicted status ailment. That is always a big plus for characters that are going to be proccing freeze, poison, you know, etc. But in his case it's freeze, and I believe it's on every one of his strong attacks and normal, so that's a big plus to actually have that there. It's really good utility for co-op. But I'm not going to talk your guys' ear off. We're just going to get into these clips. I hope you guys enjoy. Yoruichi Raid Quest, full booster Neos. You know how we do. Let's get it poppin'. Running a sad build. Alright, so first things first, since we're testing out a sad build, let's test out those cooldown times. So first strong attack is going to cool down at 8 seconds and it hits 6 times. The second strong attack cools down at 16 seconds and hits a total of 20 times. The third strong attack cools down at 24 seconds and hits a total of 6 times. That is fairly standard cooldown times for a sad build. Alright, so let's get it started. Let's get this sad build underway. And I do like his vortex. It's always a plus to have a vortex, especially a frenzied vortex. This character, I believe, was one of the first of his kind to have a frenzied vortex, which is pretty interesting to note about this particular character. It makes him somewhat a rarity. And I mean, wow. With a sad build, he's just doing so much damage on everything. It's pretty much, you know, and he has really good NAD to support it. I mean, it doesn't do the greatest amount of damage, but then again, if you're not an ad character, you're just not. Good SP. Obviously, a sad build works for this character. Great job. Sad. Alright, it's time to test the special No Tension Tai. Wow. did impressive damage. Running a SAR build. Alright, so since we're running the SAR build, let's test out those cooldowns. So, strong attack number 1, 5 seconds. Strong attack number 2, 10 seconds. And strong attack number 3 cools down at 15 seconds. That's fairly standard cooldown times when you have that Rangiku link. Always makes everything in an interval of 5. Real nice. Alright, so let's get started to playstyle and mechanics for this character. Now, I still like the damage that he's putting out, and now he has frequent cooldowns. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pretty much a guy that you have to aim. Like, you do have to kind of funnel mobs into formation in order to make the best or most of his attacks. Like, you see a mob like this, I would want to launch a vortex right here, so it's going to encompass most of them. And even so, I didn't even catch all of them into it. You know, and these two strong attacks, the first and the third, they kind of have like an AoE in front of them, so it's a little, you always have to be way back from your mobs before you even conduct a strong attack. That's something to note because it's very important for his mechanics. SAR build is pretty interesting, but I don't know, I think it makes it a little longer. SAR running a NAD build. Alright, so since we're running a NAD build, let's test out that string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, down a business string. I kind of like it with a little ice flare at the end. So let's get into this. Now, I do like the fact that he has a pretty smooth string. It is a little bit stiff, but I find it smooth for the most part. His strong attacks, they kind of, I guess, help him use a NAD build, but not really. The only one that actually really helps him is this vortex here. It really helps him bring a NAD out. That's the one thing that's like a NAD user's best friend, having a vortex on their moves list, you know what I mean? But aside from that, he just has, like, you know, pretty okay damage with a NAD build and very limited reach by my, you know, how I feel about it. Like, I just don't like his reach too much. But, of course, just like every other character with attribute and killers being utilized, NAD build is pretty decent. You know, it's always going to rank at a really good rate. Well, there you have it. That's my 6-star 100% character analysis on Fullbring Toshiro. In the end, you find out that this character works particularly well with a SAR build as it gets the top score. A SAT build gets the secondary score, and a NAD build gets the final score, and the breakdown for this is fairly simple. When it comes down to a SAR build, it's a very comfortable playstyle. It's an attack and retreat playstyle where you kind of funnel the mobs into you and then kind of like launch a strong attack that's, you know, character spaces in front of you, which is a really good playstyle for the SAR because it gives good correlation between the normals and the strongs, and it increases your crit counter a lot faster than a SAT build would, because you're not biding your time very often for your strong attacks to recharge. You do have good correlation with your normals because of that vortex. Cooling down at 15 seconds and always being able to allow you to use your NAD on a big mob, it actually just, it helps exponentially, and it makes this build pop really well. It gives it such a really fast clear time that it's probably one of the faster clear times for a SAR build, especially, you know, just having augmentation with 3 links only. It's crazy. So I kind of like this build a lot for this character. When it comes down to a SAD build, I mean, he does have the ability to knock out entry-level mobs as well as mid-tier mobs, but the mid-tier mobs is a little bit iffy. You know, if you don't maximize the potential damage of his strong attacks by launching them in the correct locations, then you're going to have a little bit of issues. Not to mention the fact that he also kind of spreads out the mob whenever he does strong attacks number 1 and 3. So you wind up individualizing DPS while you're biding your time for your strong attacks, and that can cause you to, you know, lose clear time. It also can cause you to make a lot of mistakes because he has that brawler length reach with his normals, and he doesn't do a lot of damage either, so he's usually not cleaning things up with his normals unless he has the killer and attribute advantage available to him. And when it comes down to a NAD build, which we already stated, he has a very kind of short reach, so NAD build seems a little impractical for him. He has something that extends his reach just a little bit at the end on his last string, but outside of that, no. I mean, he has a very smooth string, I will give him that, and his Vortex supports NAD builds because Vortexes are really good for it, but he just doesn't do enough damage for me to actually waste the resources on using a NAD build. It's just not something that I'm going to find practical for this character, and if you currently find it practical because it is somewhat a viable build, I would advise that you do not use Chappies, because that's a no-brainer. If you have Frenzy and pretty decent SP, just go like 90 attack and NAD and then see where that goes. But outside of that, I don't think it's going to produce a better playstyle or a faster playstyle for co-ops and even solo events. I just like using his strong attacks. I like playing to his strong attacks. Possibly a hybrid build with strong attack damage and recharge could work for this character really well. Okay, in terms of co-op, he's a GOAT. He's a guy who's going to have really good utility for the boss. He's going to have good utility for mobs over time. So he's always going to be helping his team out, which is a big plus. All right, when it comes down to PvP, he's actually a very decent PvP character because of the fact that he launches strong attacks number 1 and 3 almost instantaneously. There is no animation time for him. He does not get interrupted for these strong attacks. Now, it is very hard to aim, so he doesn't normally unleash the full tenacious damage onto his opponent because he usually misses them by a little bit, or those hits just don't come in. But just the fact that he's able to land these strong attacks by themselves, and it's a very small opportunity for him to actually get interrupted, it makes this character pop in PvP a lot. If you just play to his strong attacks and kind of just give him full stamina, full DR, and no Chappies, no nothing like that, he can actually produce a lot of outstanding damage in the PvP arena. I know, because he's part of my current meta team. Okay? Also, going against him is a little iffy, and I don't know, he just procs freeze so often. I mean, with 32 hits in his strong attacks by themselves, it's a high chance of him actually proccing freeze, especially when he does that vortex directly in the middle, which is the slowest strong attack that he has, so he actually can get interrupted launching the vortex. But when he does get it off, it's actually very helpful. Alright? And I just love this character. I mean, that's pretty much all I gotta say. He's a purple character, so he's gonna be doing stock damage plus on any and all raids. He's a frenzy character. He has okay NAD damage, an okay NAD string, and then he also has, that frenzy that just really makes him pop altogether. And he's Toshiro, man. He looks cool. What can I say? He's got the dragon around him. He's just a tough guy. If you have this character in your roster, he gets an absolute A+, just for everything that this character can do. So I'd recommend strongly that you level him up if you haven't already. It's a no-brainer. It's Toshiro, guys. But that's just my analysis. You're more than welcome to make up your own opinions on this matter, because that's what this is about, guys. But either way, that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. As always, I'll be bringing you more Bleach Brave Souls content throughout the week. I'm your boy Scartoon, and I'm signing out of here.
Dude, chill. Productions.